Happy almost New Year. In this video, I am going to talk about what I learned from my intention this year. My intention was overflow, so I'm going to talk about how I reflected on the lessons learned surrounding that this year. I know I've talked about that a couple of times. This is kind of like the last conversation about overflow until I head into what my new intention will be, my intention for 2025. I am also going to share with you how I set my intentions. There is another video. I'm doing a little something different this year. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm adding to it. We're going to talk about it. So basically, this is all about intentions. So thank you for tuning in to Vlogmas, and stay tuned for the rest of this video. The reflection part, I'm sharing that via my walk and then coming back to my desk to talk about setting intentions. So stick around. Hey, so what have I learned in this year of overflow now that we are like 1 week away from 2025? If you have been watching my check-ins and intention journey stuff, you know that I put stuff in 3 categories: career, money, relationships. And the biggest gain to me this year was in career. I will say this. I went into here knowing that I was putting the word overflow out there and just expecting this raining down of things. So of course, overflow, you immediately think of abundance and money. That was a hope, that was an intention. But also for relationships, I wanted growth. I wanted to just be overflowing, growing in new relationships and things of that nature. And I do feel like I did. There was greater clarity, I think, that happened with me with overflow in relationships and growth. But also, I feel like there was a huge, big lesson that the overflow year taught me as well. So the big lesson, the big thing that came up when I was reflecting on this year, and I'll talk more about that when I get to my desk, but when I reflected on the year and the lessons I learned on this overflow journey, the word that came up was appreciation. And I do think that while we also think of abundance a lot when we think of overflow, and I knew that that would be a challenge for me, because anything that you intend, I feel like the universe tries to challenge you on it, almost like questioning why you set that as an intention, and tries to, you know, the devil is busy and he'll try to like go like, well, ain't no abundance, I'm gonna make lack a thing up there. But when I dug deep into the underlying message that I felt was prevalent in all of my categories this year, in my year of overflow, it was appreciation. So with career, it was appreciation for where I was. I took a lateral move to get into this job. And a lot of people wouldn't have done that. And it did get to a point where I grew in responsibilities a little bit, and I was seeing other people get paid more, and I wasn't. But then I had an appreciation, because I was like, for the first time in about 8 years, I was finally working with people I liked, and people who like me, who have become like a second family to me. I have a good boss for the first time in forever, probably also like 8 years that I've been with this organization. And so I had a new appreciation, and I've even gotten like some new job opportunities, and I found myself asking myself, like, would it be worth it to sacrifice the good space mentally and emotionally I am now for more money? So a deeper appreciation for, you know, where I'm at in my career, who I'm with, what's deeper than money. Because I do feel like the money will come, but I won't get this feeling of peace that I have there. As far as the appreciation I got monetary wise, I slowed down in my personal spending this year. I shocked my closet a lot and got so many compliments, and just gained a newer appreciation for what I have in my home. So many times we say we need more, but we don't appreciate what we already have. I also feel that gaining this appreciation for what I have financially is going to help me with my overflow. I feel like I needed to kind of learn this lesson of appreciating what I have, like how much money I'm actually bringing in, how I'm not being a good steward of it, thus not appreciating it. And I think learning that lesson this year is going to help me next year to actually walk in abundance in that area. Finally, overflow in relationships. This year taught me a lesson about where I am with relationships, especially friendships. I was feeling just abandoned, if I'm being honest, this time last year, even walking into the early part of this year. But I got like this overflow of new friends, and I feel like I've heard some people say this. Molly Teal is coming to mind, but I think it's been definitely other people, and maybe she got it from someone else. It's like you have to dance who's with you at the moment, or who's brought you to the table, something like that. And so greater appreciation for the people who showed up for me this year, even last year, when I was feeling like I wasn't connecting with old friends. I was having issues with my family, but new people just have been flooding in my life and become like a new family to me. And so that's an overflow. It's an overflow. And just being appreciative of it and recognizing that I needed to have this journey, especially because looking to the future, I'm getting ready to embark on a whole new journey. I'm going to be an empty nester come May of 2026. Well, August of 2026, when she finally goes to college. And that's going to be a new journey for me. And there's already some new opportunities presenting themselves for me. And I don't think if I was hung up still on some of these relationship issues I was having with friends and exes and all this other kind of stuff, I would be able to fully embark on that journey and appreciate that journey. So yeah, it's funny because I'm not even sure that in the past I've started with a word and attention for the year, and then I almost feel like God gave me the word appreciation, and I thought it was going to be my intention for 2025, and it actually ended up being the lesson for 2024. It was the answer to overflow in a way. So yeah, that's how I'm ending 2024 in appreciation for all things I have: money, career, and relationships, and looking forward to what's to come in 2025. All right, so you've watched me reflect on what my intention was for 2024, which is overflow, and the big lesson, and something that has actually never happened to me before, is that I got a word that was in response to the intention I said. Basically, appreciation was the answer to my intention, and I don't think I've ever had that happen before. I'm definitely now going to be like tuning in to see if that happens for 2025, but this was the first year I got like a word that was like the response to my intention when I reflected on the lessons learned. So that's interesting. Share with me in the comments if this is something that's happened to you as well. I definitely would love to converse and pick your brain about that. But intention settings. So I'm preparing now to set my intention for 2025. What I have been doing leading up to this moment, I have been actually rereading my journal entries for this year. A big thing that I've always kind of done, but I've focused definitely more on this year, especially ending this year, is my gratitude practice. And I talked about that in another Vlogmas video. So I've looked back. It's been interesting to look back on the things that I've been grateful for, things that I was trying to manifest this year, like reading those journal entries. I even have some where I was just kind of venting and just kind of seeing the space I was in. And I was using that as I led into journaling about my lessons learned. Because what I do a lot of reflecting before I go into setting my intention. And if you get the 30-day intention journal, I'm going to put that link in the comment box. There is a 1-year reflection activity that you do to kind of help you set the stage for setting your intention. And if you download it, right now you're seeing the version that I downloaded from my Etsy shop. And I imported it to the Cola Notes app, COLLANOTE, and it just pops right on in, and you can use your Apple Pencil, or you can type, or you can use your finger. And right there at the beginning, again, you can also print this out. You go into the 1-year life assessment. So basically I will go in there, and there is career, relationships, and money, because those are the 3 things that I focus in on. And so what jobs have you held in the past year? How much money did you earn last year? How much did you save? Did you meet your money goals? And there's something on there asking about relationships also. Then there's reflections. And so you look at the lessons learned about your career, relationships, and your money. And so the goal is to look at all of that, look at the lessons learned, and kind of meditate on like what you learned from all 3 of those areas. Reflect on it, and then use that to set your intention for 2025. And usually that's when I find the word comes to me, because like there'll be something that just keeps popping up, like some lesson that I learned, something that's just jumping out, and the word will come to me. Something extra that I've done this year, I think this is Scott Evans. Scott Evans did an interview with Tabitha Brown. He has like a house, my next house guest or something like that on YouTube. I'll look for it and I'll drop the link. And she talked about how her and her husband, when they weren't doing good financially, they wrote a list of all the stuff they wanted to accomplish in the next 2 years or something like that. And basically they accomplished those things. So I did that same activity. But then also I sat down and in thinking about my life this year. Career was the main overflow level for me. It was also stressful as well. So you ask for things, and then you get it in abundance, and then you notice the toll that it takes on your health mentally and physically, even spiritually. And so I sat down even after I did that. So I have this. So I basically made a list of things that I wanted to do for myself in 2025. Things that would really prioritize me and my health, because I saw where as I got busier this year, I was not prioritizing myself because I was just so busy with work, and that became a focus. And so I was neglecting myself some. So things like I want to attend a Pilates class twice a month. Every other month, I want to go get a 60-minute foot massage. Once a quarter, I want to go to the sauna. So I made a list of things like that and how much it costs, so that I could add those in my budget. Like I would walk into 2025 with like a plan. And I even started putting some of these things on my calendar. And looking at deals and ways to actually make that happen. So not only talking the talk, but walking the walk for myself.
I also did this for my youngest daughter who lives in the household with me and is a bit of an overachiever. And I was like, I want to be able to do certain things for her. And even my oldest daughter who doesn't live in the household. And so I wrote that down at the bottom of the list. So I took that list. I took the list that was inspired by Tabitha Brown. I took the 1 year assessment, and I have been looking at those every day, looking at what words, what lessons are popping out for me from looking at these things, sitting in stillness, praying, meditating on these things. And so by the time I get to Christmas Eve, I will have an intention. That's usually how this happens. And then I will be using my 30-day intention journal to set my goals around that intention. So let me know, how do you set an intention for the year? What tips and tricks can you provide? Provide those in the comments. Let's start that conversation. And until next time, I want you to find a little time to take a break. Thank you so much for supporting me in 2024.